Mr. Green.
What's going on YouTube? You turn into the FlyVegans.
Yeah.
So, Rodley Balboa, aka Russell Westbrook,
Russ.
aka Betty Miller, aka Mr. 51 pounds down and counting.
Tick, 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 tick.
Well, who's counting? Me, because I'm Petty Kruger, making memes while you dream. Sauce Parole, Brockavelli,
Yeah.
Brocadile Dundee. Hope you had a great holiday weekend. What you doing, baby?
Man, it's your boy Remy Rothstein with the Mob Boss Lean. Chef Reese, because I'm always in the kitchen. Chop, chop.
Chop.
I've been on the grill a lot lately, too, though. So, you know, come up with a moniker for that. You know what I mean? The Black Bond. What'd you say?
Flip, flip.
Flip, flip. The Black Bond. Smooth gentleman turning down your girl's proposition. You know, Smoothie Soprano, keeping everything on ice, baby. And you know, we gonna come here today with 3 good questions that we want to ask and we want to talk about, you know, and one of them is one that I know we all hear. Why did you go vegan? I think that's the most popular question.
Right.
Second question is gonna be, do you believe that eating affects your consciousness? Right? And the third one will be, can a vegan and a non-vegan hold the same conscious capacity? And I know that's going to strike some nerves, but we're going to get into it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if we want to start somewhere, I'll start with why did I go vegan?
Why did you go
vegan? Me personally, it wasn't any of the 3 reasons that I think that most people, you know, maybe it's the animals, maybe it's your body, or maybe mainly it's the animals or your body, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Me personally, I started off like most people, you thinking it's like kind of an easy way for you to get some pounds dropped off and shit. You know, and it was an interesting challenge, interesting test to see if I could, you know, go 40 days, do this program, this 40-day fruit fast, and complete it. But within that, and this is the part where I say why I actually decided to go forward and do vegan, was because I felt better. You know what I mean? I felt better, and then different levels of consciousness opened up as far as like why this is better, and I did research, and it made more sense to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But initially, it was just like, fuck it, why not? Hey, what am I doing? You know? Like, what else am I doing? Shit.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, it was like a lot of groundwork. Like I had did it before, but it was what I say by force. When I went to the desert, when I was in the Air Force, and they sent me to Saudi Arabia, and I walked into the McDonald's, the Burger King over there to get a burger, and them joints was like beige. So in my mind, I was like, this ain't no goddamn beef. You know what I mean? Like, so I was like, well, while I'm over here, I'm gonna just stick to the salad bar. You know what I mean? And I ironically start working out. That's when I first got into working out. So I came back, cut up, swole up. You know what I mean? So I stuck with it. But then I end up in a steakhouse and went back to steak. So it had kind of been in my mind to go back to that because I know how well I felt.
Yeah.
And then I started reading. It was really Dr. Sebi. I remember the day I was listening to him, and I went in the refrigerator, bro, and I took everything in there and just chucked it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then like 2 hours later, I had went back on my word, and I was mad as shit because I ain't had no food. You know what I mean?
It's like people that you know, all of a sudden they want to give up their drug habit and shit. They just throw their fucking drugs all in the toilet and shit. I've been there, you know what I'm saying? I don't do drugs.
Right.
Talking about marijuana, you know what I'm saying? People get paranoid, but throw all that shit in the trash, and you effectively just threw all your drugs in the trash, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Yeah. And it's like you had this thought, like, I'm about to change, and that's great that you had that thought, but make, not with drugs, but with veganism, make small changes, you know? It's a gradual thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to, you didn't mess your whole, well, I don't want to say mess up, but you didn't build or develop this style of eating in one day. You're not going to change it in one day, you know what I'm saying? It's a journey, it's a process, so it's good that you got the information, but don't go overboard, you know?
Yeah, and another thing, just to add to my own professional, I mean, not professional, but my own personal journey or whatever, is that I was effectively like cutting things out before I even made that decision. So it was like kind of a no-brainer, you know what I mean? Like, I can't eat seafood. I'm allergic to that shit. I had an incident a while back. Goddamn, I seen some video about pork. I was already off the pork, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, let's go. Well, you know, let's try it. I'm glad I made the decision. So,
like how they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. You
exactly.
know what I'm saying? So everybody has their own personal walk. I know people that don't eat beef. My man Young Steel, shout out to Young Steel. Y'all go check out his music. He hit me up and he told me, you know, man, I'm gonna try veganism. I don't eat beef already. So it's really just the chicken and the seafood. And I'm like, well, shit, you know, tackle the chicken, get to the seafood. Don't just try to do everything. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody who said, you know, or saw something that inspired them to want to try veganism. Just make sure that you do it in a process that's, you know, edible, with no pun intended to you. You know, that you can actually digest the goals that you set, and you're not setting unrealistic goals.
Yeah, because that can be a daunting task if you just erase everything that you've been doing for however long you've been living. You know what I'm saying? That's a real daunting task. But I want to throw it to you. Once you finally made a decision, like, bringing it to our second question, do you believe that the eating affects your consciousness, or did it affect your consciousness, for that matter?
I'm biased because I'm
and when I say, I just want to frame it to say what I mean when I say consciousness. Twofold. Whether you mean consciousness as far as like being awoke to what's going on around you and things of that nature, did it drive you that way? Or also, like, did it make you feel more alert and conscious, for that matter, and shit, you know? Like physiologically versus, you know, seeking more knowledge.
It definitely, I don't know, I'm being honest, I don't know if veganism did this, because I always seek knowledge. I always study.
Right.
You know, it aligned with what I was studying, so it felt good. It felt right to me. As far as, like, you know, do I feel more alert in the physical aspects? To be honest, I didn't notice like crazy physical attributes until like a lot later, like maybe 6-7 months. But I say I got more from herbs. Like when you put me on ginkgo, that's what it's called, like ginkgo?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you put me on ginkgo, I really noticed like my mind would fire quicker. I would remember things a lot more than what I normally did when I wasn't taking that. So, and you know, so I'm not gonna sell it to you like you're gonna stop eating meat and your whole life, your skin's gonna clear up instantly, and over time those things will happen. But people have to remember, you didn't build it in one day. It's not gonna change in one day. Even a month, you will notice small changes, but not a lot.
You know, to your point, that's a funny thing is, to your point, there's a lot of people that, just like you was talking about, your skin clearing up and all this other stuff, right? There's a lot of people that have really like adverse effects initially when they became vegans. Right. And of course, over time, those things balance out or whatever, but you gotta remember, it's almost like, just like you give that analogy to car all the time. Let's say you've been giving it this shitty ass gas all this time, you start giving it the real gas that it needs. It's going to burp a couple times before it like get itself together and shit. Then it's together. Right. But you know, a lot of people had adverse effects or whatever. But as far as my consciousness, I feel I'm kind of in the same boat as you. You know what I'm saying? I think consciousness, or seeking consciousness, actually led me to become vegan, probably. Right. You know what I'm saying? Physiologically, I can't attest to that as much as I would like to. I think I'm still the same person. I think that I feel better, therefore I probably don't think about how bad I felt before. You get what I'm saying? Right. So my brain is probably a little bit less worked, or my body is less worked, and I can, you know, feel in a better mood. Right.
See, one of the things I think about is like all the good things in life, quote unquote good, or whatever you think good is. Most people, I think, would agree good. They require some level of sacrifice, if that's a word you align with, you know what I mean? So, like, you think about it, if you would have did, like, your best with everything you did, with every inch of your body with school, you would sacrifice, like, the parties, you would sacrifice hanging out, and you getting your books together, and then you can go and, if you lock into a career, you can, you know, fulfill your life. If you don't do that, and you decide to hang out or do something else other than studying what it is you're trying to do, you get the sacrifice. You may have the money and the girls on the front end. So veganism to me is the same way. Like, you got to sacrifice. It's not a short game. You're not going to see the results instantly. you're going to be 50, 60, 70 years old and you still running around moving and everybody else got walkers, and then you reap the benefits. But there are some instant benefits of eating a clean diet, so to speak. But the bigger ones come on the long end. You know, just like with money, you cannot save money. But if you put some money away now, 20 years down the line, you'll reap the benefit.
Of course, compounding effects.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah, like I said, like I mean, to that point, it wasn't an initial like, yo, it's the limitless pill. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it was like, it was more so, like I said, like I may not feel as sluggish.
Right.
So my overall mood is a lot better, and I'm thinking probably a little bit more clear.
Right. It's
almost like a lot of times people talk about like addiction and things of that nature, and of course it's in a lot of ways to mask certain things. A lot of people do drugs just to pass time. Like and I don't mean, you know, just to like say that flippantly, like, you know, they just passing time, but literally, like, you're just sitting around drinking or smoking. You're not doing anything but numbing your body and shit. So even with not drugs, but food, basically drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's like certain foods and drugs. Like your body, like it's a physiological response that you may get that makes you sluggish, or just really gives you that endorphin rush or whatever, and just makes you just like whatever. It's like a drug, you know what I'm saying? When I get that clean feeling of the highest vegan diet I can do, you know, raw or however I've done it, less processed food, I feel a lot better. You know what I'm saying? That unlocks certain parts of my mind, you know what I'm saying? I think.
I agree. You know, and I think the cleaner you eat, the better for you. You know, we really don't have to make all these comparisons. It's just about self-love. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you should be vegan. Everybody got their own definition of self-love. But if you know you're eating something that you don't internally align with, some people go pescatarian. We got homies that, you know, they eat fish. I respect them because they made their line in the sand. They said, this is what I will do, this is what I won't do. You know, so everybody should just do that. And at least think about it. Like, why do you eat what you eat? What's in a Dorito?
And even with that, making the most, I won't say the healthiest because that's always subjective, but the best decision about your food, even if you are eating, quote unquote, you know, fish or pescatarian or what have you, make the best decision about your food if you're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they doing wild flagrant shit to these fish. You know what I'm saying? They doing wild flagrant shit. They doing wild flagrant shit to the vegetables.
Word up.
You know what I'm saying? So we talked earlier about
the whole... They ain't doing wild flagrant shit to you. You know what I'm saying? So
come on, man.
To the air, to the water, to everything.
Come on, man.
You know,
and to that point, I think a lot of that has something to do with your consciousness or your energy level to make you not available to be you know, making certain decisions and caring about certain things. Like they're gonna put these wild things in your food to get you hooked on it or to get your, you know, your mind fucked up.
Right.
So but
let me ask you, moving on to the third question. Can a non-vegan and a vegan have the same conscious capacity? Can they act at the same conscious level, primarily based off of what they eat? And let me phrase it, give you context. I know you did it for me. Like, you know, you hear a lot of people say, well, I don't eat dead flesh, so I don't have those cannibalistic thoughts, or I don't have anger, or you don't know you know, they say you take on the energy of the animal that you eat, that you're eating, and that animal just got slaughtered. It was, you know, so all those type of theories. Do you think that really affects vegans and non-vegans alike when it comes to consciousness?
All right. To answer your question, I'm gonna use part of the other question to say something about that, because I feel like with the consciousness debate that we're talking about or whatever, I would say me like religiously looking at what I'm eating day in and day out, being mindful of what I'm eating, led me to be more conscious about, like, and I'm not talking about my mental capacity. I'm just talking about just learning more about what I'm eating.
Right.
Food processes, what these foods do to my body. So in that fact, yes, definitely feel more consciousness. And if we're talking about somebody that's a meat eater, if we're talking about just like purely just like wanting to know more and being aware of the world and things of that nature, yes. I mean, you got Malcolm X, you got Martin Luther King, you got all types of people throughout history that ate meat, and they're still able to, you know, think on a higher level of consciousness and explore the higher levels of consciousness. But I just think that when it comes to just my point personally as a black person, I feel like we all know that there are an array of things that are weaponized against us. So food being one of those things, I think that you owe it to yourself. Once you become more adept at learning about what's going on in other realms to suppress or oppress black people, I think you owe it to yourself to think about the food as well. You know what I mean? And think about how that affects you as a person, you know, like, and your community. But I think that you can definitely still exhibit like different levels of consciousness and still think. It's not impairing your thought if you eat meat. I mean, maybe a scientist could tell me more. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm off, but I don't think that we can't think the same because you eat meat and I don't.
Do you think that if Malcolm or Martin didn't eat meat, they would have rose to higher levels of consciousness?
No. I think their calling was just there. You know, that they were going to be that type of person regardless and figure out all the information. I just think that I think they probably would have came around to that. Right. Knowing that they know all of these things about, you know, how food negatively affects our community. You know, granted, it probably wasn't as much processed foods, or it was a lot easier for people to get hold of, you know, like real food in those days. And it was more of a code and ethic of not eating all of this government food or eating all this processed food. But I think they probably would have came to that and gave that message to the people, you know, right. them type of dudes. Like we talking about max levels of, you know, consciousness. We talking about those two dudes. So, I mean, I'm gonna turn it on to you. What you think, man?
You know, I'm probably gonna wind up echoing what you're saying. I totally agree. I think that people will basically, if you're looking at it from the pure perspective of consciousness, meaning I've expanded my knowledge of food and how it affects the body and the process that's undergone to make it, yeah, we probably a little more conscious than most people. But does that mean that I can't have awareness about things that are going on in the world outside of the realm of food, even more than a vegan? By no means. You know, and I don't really like to see people do that. And I think that's why it's important that we do videos like this, because I remember being a vegan and I went to YouTube, which I go to when I want to learn a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at people and they like, yeah, you know, my skin cleared up, my sex game was better, my credit got better. You know, and you're like, damn, I'm about to go vegan. And then at the
hold up, chill, Slim.
Yeah, after a month, you're like, I'm the same dude, for real. Like, when I really think about it, you know, if I'm not lying, so I don't want to tell people, like, your whole life is just going to do a 180. Your whole life will do a 180 if you want your whole life to do a 180. And veganism could play a part, but that ain't going to be the end-all, be-all to all the problems of the world. You know what I'm saying? It's just one part of the fight. But I think everybody should still do it. So, you know, elevate your consciousness, and in doing that, I think you can't deny veganism. I mean, who really has something bad to say about it other than some opinionated shit? Like, oh, that's boring, or that's lame.
Well, I mean, and where these things align, I think that as far as consciousness and veganism or whatever, I think those things align is that no matter what, you can't deny that the things that we eat affect our body, whether they be adversely or, you know, or positively or whatever. So why not make your body function optimally? You know what I'm saying? So even if we're just talking about, like you said, just making better food choices, because those foods that you eat and how they interact with your body affect how you think, how you move around. In turn, they help you, you know, in other areas work optimally and shit. Thinking, moving around, and all types of things. So, yes, I want to say that question, the second question, yes, I think that will help your consciousness however we define consciousness, but it's also just your overall feeling of well-being. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you can channel that into
other areas.
There you go.
Yeah, I think
you know what I mean? That
makes it a full circle. You know, but
right.
we can't look at veganism, like I said, as the end all be all. It's not. Once I do that, I conquered it. No, it's still a lot of other parts of the wheel that you gotta make sure are addressed. You know, but veganism will help you to clearly address some of those other ones, especially if your ass ain't got diabetes.
Let me ask you this: do you know any like mean vegans?
I know several.
You know several?
Vegans, yeah. But
mean.
But this is what I'm saying, and I know the point you're trying to make.
No, I ain't trying to make no point. I'm just asking.
I would agree with the general point that most vegans are friendly people. But these people that I know that are mean vegans, they was mean before they were vegan. You know what I'm saying? They may got a little
hold
better.
Up. Are they mean to you, or they just mean people in general?
I don't even keep mean people around me, but I see how they kind of go at people, and like they just then, you know, they could be. I mean, it depends on what mean too. Like I don't know no asshole vegans, but I'm talking about could get relatively gangster with you kind of quick. I know some vegans that's like that. That's like, yo, leave me the fuck alone.
So yeah, let's dispel that rumor because I mean,
you know what I mean. And that's what I mean. Veganism ain't gonna make you a nice person. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't gonna make like this. The only thing I can co-sign as far as what veganism will do for you is just make you feel better.
Yeah.
It'll make you feel better.
Yeah, your bowel movement's gonna be better. That type of shit, I'm co-signing. But it's not a magic pill to like. You know how some people like they find religion and then that's the pill to their whole life changing. That's great. But veganism is not like that. It's not like.
Oh no, it could be. Could be to some people.
I mean, you're right. Some people out there probably worshiping veganism, bro. I'm sure it's a
not necessarily worshiping it, but you know how a motherfucker be like, God damn, my life changed because of blah blah blah.
Yeah, but
it's all like another it's another group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but even with that, I would still argue that person that was just a spark to ignite the change in other parts of your life. It wasn't veganism that changed everything. Veganism.
Same with religion.
Right, exactly.
You know, it gave you a reason to
explore.
Just be accountable and think about things.
Right. Don't quote me, boy.
A lot of times when people talk about shit change their life, it's just they found a reason to be accountable.
Right.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? My daughter was born and I feel like I can change her life. You just found something made you feel accountable. Right. Oh man, Jesus said, nah, you just found something.
Found a reason to be accountable.
Yeah.
And you don't really need nothing life-changing to do that. You could just be accountable. You know what I
mean? Like all this shit I did, all this shit that's fucked up with me is because of me.
I did it.
You know I fucked it up.
Right. And I'm going to fix it. Word up.
That's it.
But how you living over there, B?
Like a vegan.
Yeah, hey, that's what's
Fly
up.
Vegan.
I like that one. Word up. Word up. Yeah, you know. Wings on. I was thinking about getting some wings tatted on me, and then I thought about Ja Rule. I think he got that. I was like, nah, I don't want the wings. No diss to Ja, but I don't want no tattoo that another man got. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm sure he's not the only one. He's just the first one.
I think it's added that it's Ja Rule though.
I mean, he just took such a major L. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's just associated with like if you think of L's in hip hop.
I didn't even know he had that tattoo, but
yeah, it's on like one of the albums. This one albums like you used to flip open the cover and look at the artwork and all that. You know what I mean?
Maybe you get some wings that look like romaine lettuce. Be a real fly vegan, nigga.
Get 2 pieces of romaine lettuce. Hey, I don't think I ever get no fruit tattooed on me, dog. I love fruit, but I don't think I'd go get no mangoes.
That ain't fruit.
I wouldn't go get no apple tattooed.
I'm talking about vegetables, yo.
I know, I'm just saying. I wouldn't go get a vegetable.
I think you get fruit tattooed on you.
That's
you
weird.
might be a little moist. I'm trying to think of any fruit.
The fruit tattoo? Like if you met somebody and they had oranges tattooed on their chest. Like,
it better be a hell of a story, yo.
You be like, yo, what's up with that? And that nigga like, I like oranges. What you go?
No, it better be a hell of a story. Like, your people was orange pickers in goddamn California and shit. Like a Mexican.
That's the way out. You gotta have some money. So we own the biggest orange farm in Florida.
You gotta have money or a tragic story, nigga.
Yeah.
Like your
Some
people got shot up at the orange
my little
farm.
brother when he was 3 and suffocated.
Nah, niggas got shot up at the orange farm. You feel me? They was ducking Donald Trump. You feel me?
So I walked in. I walked over him. I took his mask off. I was like, I know this.
Shot him again. Word up. But yeah, like I think fruits is off limit. You feel me? Like that's a little. Banana, nah. Apple, nah. Eggplant is a vegetable, but it's still that's
I'm flipping back and forth, vegetables and fruits, either one. I'm not
that's
tattooing.
Way out of bounds. But no, I digress. This was an interesting conversation. I think we should explore again about what's acceptable as far as food to get tatted on you.
I would like to do a show on that. But to all the viewers, we appreciate you rocking with us. Make sure y'all answer the questions, man, in the comments. Let us know if you went vegan. Why did you go vegan? Do you believe that eating affects your consciousness? And do you think a non-vegan and a vegan can hold the same conscious capacity? Let us know what y'all think. Y'all heard what we think. Appreciate you for rocking with us. We're going to stay sucker-free in a land full of lollipops. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn the notifications on. We appreciate that. You get all the new updates to all the new vlogs that we drop. And we got definitely... Go ahead.
And also make sure you follow, both of us.
Yeah, follow. I was getting to that. Follow my man at...
Broccoli_Balboa.
And me at RemRockFit on everything. We definitely got the Fly Vegan cookout video coming to you soon. We're going to show you how to do it. We're firing up the grill. And we also rating some cheeses. So be on the lookout for that coming up soon. Some vegan cheeses. We don't fuck with
Yeah, man. Vegan cheeses and everything he said. And non-vegan and vegan, answer the questions.
Yeah.
Love y'all, man.
Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.